A very good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to PSA TV. This is the Wake Up Call with me, Christy Kali Singh. Joining me on the telephone right now, I've got the President of the Trinidad and Tobago Teachers Unified Association, Mr. Lynlsey Doodhai. Good morning to you, Mr. Doodhai.
Hi, good morning to you and good morning to your listeners.
How are you this morning? Hello?
Hello, yes.
Hi, good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right. Let's get straight into this morning's discussion. Now, yesterday you would have indicated that you will be holding a mass protest on October, I believe it is the 1st?
Tuesday, October 1st.
Right. Just tell me a little bit about, first of all, what would have prompted that action?
Well, the whole issue of the march on October 1st centers around the non-commencement of salary negotiations on members of the teaching service for the period October 1st, 2014 to September 30th, 2017. Mm-hmm. Since the submission of our proposals in November of 2015, we have yet to get any counter proposals from the Chief Personnel Officer. We have made many inquiries, we have written many letters, we have made various attempts to get the negotiations started to no avail. We have even resorted to picketing the Chief Personnel Officer's office. We have even resorted to having teachers wear red. However, none of these interventions bore any fruit with respect to the Chief Personnel Officer calling in TTUTA to negotiate around the bargaining table.
I'm seeing so here that
we were forced actually to this point because our members have gotten very frustrated, disenchanted, and even angry at the non-commencement of salary negotiations.
Okay, I'm seeing here that the period you're negotiating from is 2014 to 2017, is it?
October 1st, 2014 to September 30th, 2017.
Okay, and I'm also seeing here that since 2015, TTUTA handed over wage proposals to the CPU, but she's yet to have a counter proposal.
Yes, since November 2015, we have submitted those proposals, and we are yet to have any counter proposals from the Chief Personnel Officer. Mm-hmm. The excuse that has been used by the Chief Personnel Officer, and since that time we have had about 3 different Chief Personnel Officers since we submitted our proposals, from Ms. Stephanie Lewis to Mr. Beresford Riley, now to Ms. Angela Sinasi-Gervais, 3 different CPOs. The excuse every time has been that they are still awaiting instructions from the Minister of Finance, mm-hmm. and they have not gotten no mandate to start negotiations.
Can you tell me when was the last CPO meeting with, when last you had a meeting with the CPO?
We last met with the Chief Personnel Officer on Friday, January 4th of this year, and I had meeting the Chief Personnel Officer promised that by February of this year, 2019, the counter proposals would have been sent. Mm-hmm. To date, we are in September. We have not gotten the counter proposals. We have sought reasons why this was not sent to us by through inquiries to the Chief Personnel Officer, and the Chief Personnel Officer would have indicated that she is still awaiting information requested from the Ministry of Education. However, we see it as a deliberate stalling tactic, and we are not prepared to take that excuse anymore because it's almost 4 years since those proposals were sent in.
And what are you hoping to achieve by this march on October 1st?
Well, we want to get around the bargaining table, the negotiation table, so that we can commence negotiations for a new collective agreement. And the negotiations, of course, not only about salaries, but other terms and conditions for members of the teaching service.
Mm-hmm. Can you just tell us a little bit about the timing of the protest, where you all will be gathering?
Well, we intend to gather at the Brian Lara Promenade from around 12 noon on the 1st of October, mm-hmm. and then around 12:30 we will march through the streets of Port of Spain. We have already identified the route and have written to the Commissioner of Police seeking permission, and we hope to come back at the end of the march to the Brian Lara Promenade, where we have a short meeting with our members.
Mm-hmm. How are teachers dealing with the fact that they have not gotten a salary increase in over 4 years, over 5 years?
Well, the teachers, as I mentioned earlier, they are quite frustrated. They are angry that they are still working on 2014 salaries in 2019. So the feedback we have gotten is that they are ready for action, they are ready to rumble. So we hope that this translates into numbers onto the streets of Water Street on the 1st of October. But by and large, teachers are dissatisfied and they are displeased about the non-commencement of negotiations for a new collective agreement.
Okay, just switching gears a bit now. Recently, we have seen a number of reported incidents via social media, of course, of teachers using abusive language. We have here at the front page of the Daily Express where a teacher's rage, the teacher was suspended for abusing pupils. What do you think is the problem stemming out of this issue here? Is it a matter of indiscipline amongst teachers?
Well, let me correct in terms of the question. And one, they said there were reports, so many reports. To my knowledge, there has only been one report of an alleged incident at the Tranquility Government Primary School. That's the only incident I know about. And so that's the only incident that we know about. And
right.
with respect to what could be causing it, well, of course, the incident has to be investigated to verify the authenticity of that audio clip and what have you. But I want to make it quite clear that the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association does not in any way condone verbal abuse of students by teachers. In fact, we frown on it, and we will ask all teachers or any teacher who is engaged in such action to desist from doing so. I will even go so far as to say that we are confident that such verbal abuse is done by a minority of teachers and it's not the norm of the majority of the members of TTUTA.
Do you think that it's perhaps pressure on teachers from some students that they just have these random outbursts and, you know, it just kind of impacts on the child?
Well, it is generally acknowledged worldwide that teaching is one of the most stressful jobs, and it will be no different in Trinidad and Tobago. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have other problems with respect to indiscipline in our schools, non-cooperative parents, even abusive parents. But notwithstanding these factors that I just mentioned, what we heard on that audio clip, if it's authentic, there's no excuse for that sort of outburst or tirade. So that is inexcusable. And yes, while teachers may be under stress and under strain, we would advise teachers to avail themselves of these services provided by the EAP, the Employees Assistance Program, where they can seek medical, so where they can seek professional help, even counseling for any problems that they have, and even encourage them when they feel that they are overwhelmed or stressed or burnt out to avail themselves of a mental health day through either a sick or an operational leave entitlement to just to pull back a bit and gather themselves before they go back to the classroom.
In your opinion, what is one of the biggest challenges teachers face on a daily basis?
Indiscipline in schools. Indiscipline in schools is without doubt the biggest challenge to teachers, and teachers do have difficulties in terms of discipline at schools. And of course, teachers are not allowed to use corporal punishment anymore. It has been outlawed by the Children's Act. And while I say that I'm not advocating for corporal punishment, but with the removal of corporal punishment, some teachers have found it difficult to maintain discipline in schools.
Do you think that perhaps there should be alternatives to corporal punishment, probably stricter reprimanding measures?
Well, when corporal punishment was removed, they should have, the members of the teaching service should have been better prepared by the Ministry of Education in terms of alternative means of disciplining students. It was not done, so many teachers really are ignorant in terms of alternative methods of disciplining of students. And to me, that was a critical factor since corporal punishment was removed in terms of teachers' inability to cope with the indiscipline in many instances. And of course, as I may add that long ago you had very supportive parents, and if you call parents into the school to complain about their child's behavior, right, you would have those children scolded by their parents. But now we live in different times, and even getting a parent into the school will be difficult. And even when they come to the school, they are confrontational in many instances than supportive and understanding of what the teacher has to say about the behavior or the discipline of the particular child.
How big of a role do parents play when it comes down to the indiscipline or discipline of a child coming into a school?
Well, I would say they play a very large part because discipline, I would say, begins at home, and if the child is indisciplined at home, obviously they would be indisciplined also at the school. And also long ago when I used to go to school, people of my age, if a teacher made a complaint about you, when you go home, you were sure to be scolded and reprimanded by your parents. At home, no, I don't think that is happening. We have many more instances of single parent homes. We have helicopter parents and what have you. So the level of guidance to our students is not there as it was in previous times.
All right, and just to step into elections, I know you all have elections coming up on the 22nd, I believe it is?
Tuesday, 22nd of October, it was national elections in TTUTA.
Yes, so I also know that you're not eligible to contest again because you've had the position there, and then you were previously the vice president of TTUTA.
Yes, that's correct. The Constitution of TTUTA dictates that there is a two-term limit in whatever position. So in my particular situation, I would have served 2 terms, one as second vice president of TTUTA and one as the president of TTUTA. So I am debarred from contesting the elections this time around.
Okay, and just so, you know, before you take your leave, what would you say is one of the most outstanding things you have brought to TTUTA as the president of TTUTA?
Well, I can point to a number of things. One of the major achievements would be our teacher center, which is due to be formally opened on October 12th. This has been something that has been in a dream for decades, since the 90s. And the first phase of the teacher center should be opened. In fact, we have set the date of Saturday, October 12th, for the opening of this building. So our head office will be relocated from Quebec to Carlson Field in Chagona. So that would be one of my greater achievements as president. Also, the SBASU, while we were not successful at this juncture in terms of the High Court, and we intend to pursue the matter further. For over a decade, there has been talk about resolving the issue of school-based assessment. Under my presidency, that matter was tackled aggressively. It was taken to the High Court, and we have had a preliminary decision given. But of course, as I mentioned, this would be the possibility of further legal action to resolve the matter is being pursued right now with our attorney with respect to the lodging an appeal at the Appeal Court of Sri Lanka, because that's another of what I consider my major achievements. And I would want to end by saying I think that I would have done a fairly good job in terms of, articulating the issues affecting teachers and being very fearless and getting the issues outside there to highlight the issues that have been and are affecting the members of the teaching service.
If you had one more thing to do as the president of the association, what would it be?
Well, I would have really hoped during my tenure as president that the negotiations would have commenced and would have been concluded before I demitted office. In fact, when I was campaigning for the post of president, I pointed out to my track record as second vice president, where I was able to, as the leader of the negotiation team, to have negotiations for the 2011-2014 period completed in under 1 year's time. And I had hoped to bring that knowledge and experience to the 2014 to the 2017 period. However, due to the stance of the chief personnel officer and the government of the day, that was not successful. But if I had to reflect, I would really have hoped to have had the salary negotiations for the 2014-2017 period completed.
What advice would you give your incumbent president or the incumbent team?
Well, I when I say incumbents, those who are presented with me.
Yet to be, whoever will take over after you leave.
Oh, you mean incoming officers?
Yes.
Well, I would let them know that the job of a tutor officer, whether it's president or a vice president or a secretary or treasurer, is a very, very demanding job. But at the end of the day, we have to remember that we were put there to seek and represent the interests of teachers, and we must do that at all times, so that we could, advance the interests of our members.
Mm-hmm. And, for the first time in 40 years, we will we will see a female taking over as president, because we have 3 women contesting the elections on the 22nd. Your thoughts about that?
Well, that was inevitable. About 75 to 80% of the teaching service comprises of females, and it was inevitable that a female would rise to the fore at some point in time to become president of TTUTA. In 2016, when I contested the presidency, 2 other females would have run against me, and they would have been unsuccessful. 2 of them are once again in the race. So it's inevitable, and I want to wish them all the success. We have had a female prime minister in Trinidad and Tobago. We have had a female president of Trinidad and Tobago. So it's growth and development of the association to have a female president going forward.
Any particular individual you're throwing your support behind?
No, I am not throwing my support behind any particular individual. In fact, I am reluctant to even advise anyone in terms of who they should vote for. All I would advise our members is to listen carefully to all the candidates for the post of president and scrutinize their records and their biodata and their CVs, and then make an informed decision in terms of who they would want to represent them as the next president of TTUTA.
All right. Surely it must be a bittersweet moment for you to depart as president.
A bittersweet moment. Well, when I came into office, I knew that I had to leave at some point in time. So I have begun to prepare for life after TTUTA. In fact, I have started my LPC so that I could be called to the bar very shortly. So I have begun to put things in place post-TTUTA. And I am grateful for the experience, but all things come to an end, good things come to an end at some point in time, and we must be prepared to move on to new horizons.
All right, Mr. Doodhai, thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us that information and those updates there. Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you very much. It was my pleasure. Bye.
All right, we've been chatting there with the president of TTUTA, Mr. Lynlsey Doodhai. Of course, elections will be held on October 22nd. There are 3 ladies contesting the elections there. If I can just get the names of these women, we have, let me see here. We have Nirmala Chinibas Dindyal. She is the principal of the Upper Karapichaima Presbyterian Primary School. We also have Jemima Riley. She is the principal of Eastern Boys Government School. And Antonia De Freitas, she is a senior teacher at Tunapuna Girls RC School. And of course, this elections on October 22nd will see a woman president of TTUTA for the first time in 40 years of TTUTA. And also, Mr. Doodhai was there commenting on the issue of teachers' abuse in schools. Of course, he has condemned the recent action by a teacher at Tranquility Government Primary School there. And last but not least, we have a big march coming up on October 1st, aiming for solutions from the CPO. If you look at today's Express, you would see TTUTA is mobilizing for a big march in Port of Spain on the 1st of October. And there's a particular part that stands out to me when it says the quiet word that Doodhai said in July. The union picketed the CPO's office in an attempt to get wage negotiations started, but this also did not work. So it's been a long road for TTUTA. We've always seen teachers coming out in red I don't know if this year if they'll be wearing red, but on October 1st at 12:30 p.m. at the Brian Lara Promenade, that's their meeting point, we'll see many teachers coming there voicing their concerns about stalled negotiations. And I think we all know in the public sector how that has been going. We even here at the PSA stalled negotiations for quite some time. So down there at TTUTA, we will see on October 1st a big mobilization for the 2014 to 2017 negotiations. This is PSA TV. Remember, you can join us on the line as well. You can call in. Feel free to share your thoughts with us. Our phone number is 770-5295. So that phone number again, 770-5295. Feel free to share your thoughts with us here on PSA TV. Remember, this is the only digital media house, labor media house in the Caribbean, where you get to share your opinions, get to share your thoughts on labor, everything labor related, whether it's a protest, whether it's a court case, whether it's whatever you want to talk about. So this is PSA TV. Remember, feel free to contact us. We'll be right back.